for our community and help to improve unemployment rates. Does that make sense? Is that too much to cover?
No. We got out of, what is it, industrial arts. The industrial art of working. HVAC, air conditioning, all the stuff like cars aren't going anywhere, but you do need to know AI to be in order to work them. I'm just saying that basketball is not it, football, but we need to tune them into doing different things outside of the norm. They don't want to work at McDonald's. McDonald's is not paying enough. But again, the culture starts in your house. They see you working and elevating and going and just elevating. For myself, I can say I've shown my daughter and then start to be an entrepreneur. You can create your own business. You have a foundation. You got a regular job every day. Go out there and make some money. Hire some children to work with you. Teach them a trade. We're not taking them under our wing and showing them anything. Some of us are, and some of us aren't. So they're not interested. They're interested in being a DJ, a rapper, and all of that other stuff. But we're not showing them that it's money in coding. We're not making it fun. We're not making it interesting for them because we're not bringing it into the homes to say, you can do that, let's try it. So again, it starts in the home and it'll leak out and they'll have a good working idea of how to work.
Thank you.
I like what the sister said, and the thought came to my mind, marketability. We're not marketable enough in our community in order to compete for jobs. You have to be marketable, and I like you named some of the professions, and not to limit those professions. Also, look into the medical field. We need nurses, we need doctors. Those professions are not going anywhere. People will get sick, people will need surgery, and so you're going to need those professions. AI cannot do everything, and so you need those professions like that, and also social workers. We need social workers, psychologists and counselors. Those are marketable professions because somebody needs somebody to talk to at all times. And so I think that if we teach our community how to be marketable, then that will reverse the economic situation. It can reverse it a little bit. Because if you look at it, reversing it in a whole, that's an undertaking, a big task. But, you can find it being reversed as far as changing your economic situation.
Could you restate that question?
So the question is around economics and labor, and I'm asking what are some ways that we can be, what we can create a more self-sufficient economy that creates jobs for our community.
I think the key word is self-sufficient. And I think we get caught up on still attempting to survive in the very system, the structure that's destroying us. So, I think this conversation is, I think at some point, to some degree, I think these are a lot of questions, just to really flesh them out quickly is like kind of impossible. But the reality is we have a mindset and a dependency on a system that is not serving us. And hence, even we cannot educate, we just cannot educate our way out of oppression. We've tried it. We've done it. What I'm saying is, if the same person's controlling the system, or the same people, the same group, or the same whoever, black, white, I'm not even talking, when I say these things, I'm not talking about colors even. Because lots of people are part of this. It just happens to be that white people are more at the helm of it more than anybody else. So the thing is, though, the system has to change. We can get education and all that, and we can do a little better here and there, but like, for example, if you work at a school, right, and you're a professor, you can do all your work on an individual level. you can help all the students and all this in your own way, but to really bring about true change, we have to look at it from a systemic level. I was in the training, maybe Dr. Keena's, some of her forefathers, some of her elders came to this training, the People's Institute of something, I can't remember. But I think that they said some profound things. One of the profound things they said was that we typically look for solutions to fix people, broken people, but we rarely look at fixing broken systems. And the system in itself is broken. You can keep rearranging the furniture all you want. It's going to keep creating a certain type of outcome. And even people who seemingly are doing better aren't doing that much better. All types of people. Black people just happen to be at the lowest end many times. But this system isn't working for anyone. We just hold on to it because this is what we know. And we don't like change. Human beings don't like change. So there's a lot of help. That's why I said I agree with Dr. Dennis, when she said, I'm sorry, I'm a little fatigued today. Yeah, I agree with her for messing her name up, right? So I agree with her when she says health. We have to look at this thing from health. I agree first. And not on an individual level. We'll never solve any of these problems on an individual level. We have to look at this on an individual and a collective level because people are hurt out here. I'm talking about everybody, even white people. They hurt. And what me and Dr. Dennis will kind of diverge a bit is that I think I agree with her earlier statement said it's a process. And I don't agree, and I don't ever, well, I'll agree with her. I don't think the people who this system is working for, quote unquote, or at least think is working for them, is going to give up their goods. You understand what I'm saying? And so I agree with that. But I said it again.
No, they won't.
They won't. But I do realize there are people that it's a process, and I think that in order to change the system in general, it has to be a radical shift of the mind, and it can start with us.
So I wanted to kind of hone in a little bit on this question because we talked about, from a general level, but I wanted to take it to what economics is, and economics is the control of resources. So those resources are goods, services, people, commodities. So those are the things that we have to control. When you talk about the system of control, that means that system is controlling the resources. So where we get things from, and we could take it to raw materials, right? The foods we eat, the agriculture, the landscape, so that's the part where I think that leads to jobs. So owning resources and owning production leads to jobs in our community. So that's where we take the system and talk about self-sufficiency, we have to look at control of those resources.
Effective publication. Sitting right over there, you all are welcome to get a copy of it. And when you speak of entertainment and media, let me just give you some facts. First of all, if you took, when I was talking about black people, you took all the radio stations, TV stations, newspaper, magazines, put them all together. You had less than 1% of media in this country. So 99% of the information that we receive, not only our children, but we are, is come from outside resources. And words do sway. As a little child, think of when you were a child, and your parents said this to you, or someone said that to you, how it reflected on you. Can you imagine a lifetime of bombardment with words? With, how would you put it? The best way I can say it is propaganda. It's by design. What you hear, what you wear, what you say, what's in and what's out. And so in order for you to reverse that, then you have to start your own, create your own, support the communities that you do have out there. And then when our forces become stronger, then we can dictate to our young people that's engaged in that industry outside and dictate to them, this is what we want to hear, or this is what we want to allow or not allow. Because their words do affect us and always affect us.
Other races, they teach their children from growing up to honor their people. Black people don't do that anymore. We teach our children to want to sing Kumbaya and join hands with everybody else, and teach us to ignore our own people. A lot of black people today think that Martin Luther King's message was for us to just join hands with white folks, because they only played 2 stanzas from that 18-minute speech, I Have a Dream speech. That stanza about I have a dream of one day with little black boys and little black girls who join hands with little white boys and little white girls, and the one about judge not by the content of the color of your skin, but the content of the character. Okay, so a lot of black folks think that that was his main goal, was for us to join hands with white folks and forget all about each other. And that's what you got going on today. Black people forgetting about each other, fighting to get to white people. Okay, now I'm in the performing arts. A lot of people might want to disregard the arts. Okay, but the arts are very important because they shape the minds of a lot of people. They influence what's going on in the world. I'm a black actor, a singer, a writer, a screenwriter, and so forth. Okay, you got this strike going on right now in Hollywood, which I really don't want to be a part of Hollywood. As a young child, I was always in the arts. And I had dreams of one day growing up, winning Oscars and Grammys. I don't really give a fuck, excuse me, I don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. I don't give a fuck about no Oscar anymore. It's important to me to create quality works that will empower and uplift my people, our people, the black community. Okay? I have an award-winning film right now on a black streaming service that would not get passed in Hollywood. The stuff that I create, because I'm not trying to kiss white ass, is not going to get accepted by Hollywood. So I'm not trying to be in Hollywood. So we have to begin to come together and start from young, teaching our children to honor the skin of their hand, to love the skin and appreciate the skin of their hand. That's what we need to do. Until we do that, and furthermore, the system is not broken. It's designed to do exactly what they created to do, to keep us down. And I personally feel, which people have called me crazy, because I feel like we need to be creating our own system. And they say, well, how can you do that? Well, we have the right to declare sovereignty and have our own government and our own judicial system. That's how I feel.
Thank you for sharing. So, Sister Charlene, did you want to say something?
Oh, real quick.
Okay, because I know she got to go somewhere. But I think, you know, what I took from what he said today, and this is what I'm going to say, is race first. Okay? That's what Marcus Garvey preached, is a race first mentality, because we have to look out for ourselves. Every other race does. If it's actually a race, then we need to bond together and try to win, right? You calling it a race, then why are we at the bottom? Why are we in the back, right? So we need to pool our resources together internally and work together. You know, there's a good thing to build outside, but there's no foundation if you don't build within.
So what I'm hearing that brother was saying, in the whole vein, is that if we know that the system is designed to do exactly what it's doing, and we talk about brokenness, then the question is, what are we doing to disrupt what's going on? Because COVID disrupted everything that we knew in 2020. So if a virus can disrupt everything that we know and to change things, then we should be in that same vein of disrupting and changing the way we need to move. And a lot of times, like when we sit in these spaces, there should be a lot more youth in there, because they can speak to why they're still taking on the music, listening to the music, and they have some critique of us that we need to pay attention to, because a lot of times we come in thinking that we know everything that we need to know, but we have not engaged and gotten into a mindset of being prefigurative, not post-figurative. Now, if you know that term, you should know that when we talk about post-figurative, we're talking about a world, and speaking of the world that we experience, that 9 times out of 10 may not exist. So when you're trying to tell younger people, a generation that now, like there's 2 generations under us, about something that happened in the past, but we still not able to meet where they are, and talking about technology and everything else, and how this world is changing, then we forever going to be in this conversation, in this space about what do we do about this and that. So my question is, for everybody, is to ask what is preventing us from being disruptive and change things so that everything can come together. That's all I have.